Hi, this is Todd Catcher with the Digital Dealership System. In this video, we're going to learn the difference between process-driven kiosks and customer resource-driven kiosks so that way you could make the right decision for your dealership while taking advantage of today's latest technologies. Today's dealerships are flooded with kiosks. Kiosks for single purposes, kiosks from the manufacturer, and vendors out there trying to sell you different kiosks for different things. There are two different types of kiosks that it is important for dealers to understand so that way they could maximize their ROI while keeping into consideration what makes their dealership different from the others. The process-driven kiosk is a kiosk that drives a process in the store. That is a kiosk that can be used for a single purpose, such as trade-in or check-in or maybe accessories. These kiosks are set up specifically to answer the question when somebody comes into a dealership or somebody has a specific need that the kiosk is supposed to solve. So a kiosk with a process-driven mentality follows through a certain line that is set up by the dealership and customized by the vendor or the manufacturer to yield a certain result. So let's take that from a higher level, an umbrella standpoint, and let's look at it from a process-driven scenario. In that process, somebody walks into the dealership and the first thing they do is they check in at the kiosk. They choose whether they have an appointment or not, who the appointment is with, and then they go through the sales process with their sales consultant at the actual kiosk. They do the trade-in value, they do vehicle research, they may go ahead and look at inventory, they may even get a credit pull on the back end. They may even schedule the first service appointment all on the kiosk without ever leaving that one place in the store. This process is a great solution for dealers to go ahead and create a system that solves a problem. For instance, dealers spend a lot of money on marketing to get people in the door, but yet the CRM doesn't show all those leads. A kiosk can solve that. That's a process that the kiosk is going to solve in the dealership. It's going to solve a problem the dealership has. A trade-in value kiosk is a kiosk that serves one purpose and one purpose only. It gives the customer a trade-in value. Now, sales consultants can also use this as a tool to provide a third-party analysis of the trade value. Again, it is a process. It yields a process. Maybe somebody comes into service and they want to check in through service and not have to wait for an advisor. Well, we've learned these actually increase the ability for someone to upgrade themselves by almost 25%. At the same time, it solves a process in the dealership, solves a problem in the dealership, whereas a customer is now being taken care of without having to wait around. These are single serve. Maybe you have an accessory kiosk. Its only purpose is to solve accessories. In the mall, it's a lead capture device. The opportunity to have a lead capture system in the mall, serves a purpose, it's a process, it's a single system, it captures leads. The second type of kiosk is what we refer to as a CRC, which is a customer resource center. Now, a customer resource center is great for today's customers that want to get information on their own. So on the sales side, a customer comes in and they don't want to talk to anybody. We've all been in that situation where a customer comes in and they don't want to talk to a sales consultant. Or maybe it's a service customer who's in there and they're waiting in the lounge and you have a 42-inch touchscreen on the wall and they're able to interact with your brand. In these situations, the CRC, your Customer Resource Center, is set up differently. When you walk up to a CRC, they actually have multiple touch points for a customer to interact with in whatever order they want to. It's a resource center. Maybe you want to show sales videos or walkarounds of new cars. Maybe you want to show a comparison of your vehicles versus someone else's. Maybe you want to tell the story of your dealership. On the sales side, maybe you want to also include some finance videos. Maybe inventory. All these can be combined into a single kiosk to create an ROI because now you're breaking down the barriers of a customer. So let's go into the ROI of both different processes and how you could go ahead and determine which is best for you. The process-driven kiosk we'll discuss first because that's the one that dealers always ask about. What does the kiosk do? The kiosk is a great way to create the process in your store. If you're concerned about ROI, the main factor of ROI is that you're spending so much money in marketing and that those people come into your store and they never get into the CRM. You have a broken process that the kiosk can then fix. In addition, by interacting with the kiosk, you're breaking down barriers and having something in common with the person that's about to purchase a vehicle. You're showing them a new process, and if that process works well for them, you have the opportunity to sell differently than your competitors do. If somebody comes in for a trade-in and you treat them differently than a trade-in at another store, you have a better ability to have a great conversation and a great experience with that customer. The ROI will increase. Our statistics have shown that there's a higher capture rate using digital signage in the store and interactive kiosks than there is in the old school method of the handwritten way. We have dealers that have a 10 times lead capture rate inside the store and a 50% higher closing rate than they did previously by instituting processes through the kiosks. On the CRC side, it's a little bit different to go ahead and determine what the ROI is because you're providing a resource like an encyclopedia, a dictionary, but for cars. So the only way to really determine it is what the use rate is. How many people are actually using the CRC? How many times do you see people over there actually interacting with it? They're interacting with your brand. They're becoming more informed. Now we just got to sell them a little bit more, but they're informed customers. Can we move people over from the service area using a CRC into the sales area? Our statistics have shown that yes, they will. They will buy more products because they are more educated. They will do more in the dealership. They will buy more from the dealership. You will have more repeat customers for using the CRC system. Now, the great thing about products from the digital dealership system is that we actually work with you to determine what your process is and what you want in a CRC to customize everything specifically for your store. Every store is different. Every manager is different and every pain point is different. Contact us today, digitaldealershipsystem.com, and ask us about how we can help you with interactive digital signage in your store through the process-driven or customer resource-driven kiosk. Also follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/digitaldealers.